What's up, everybody? It's your boy. It's Tarek, and I'm back. I am back. Last time I was on here, we were having a conversation about um, Nico G, I believe it was, and Pep said, "Oh, he took an incredible knock," and we laughed, we joked, we didn't understand what that meant. What's an incredible knock? I don't know. I still don't know what an incredible knock is, but what I do know is I'm back from an incredible knock. Whatever an incredible knock is, that's what I had. I had that thing, that incredible knock. Whatever you're thinking about, I had it. And I'm trying to remember who it was that made the jokes about the incredible knockers. Well, we'll see. I don't know. But I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here. 14 of you out there already. Appreciate that. Last time we did this, well, last time we were supposed to do this last week, this time we had to cancel. I had some health issues. I'll go into that a little bit, but appreciate everyone for being here this week. Again, I'm trying my best to not cancel a week, and so it took a little bit to kick me out, to knock me down, and to beat me up a little bit last week, so I couldn't be here. But we are back, and there is a lot to get to. Big ups to Snoopy, who was always first one in the chat, always the first one here. Oftentimes beats me here. I get here and there's already comments, whatever. So big up to you, fam. Yeah, we definitely took some lumps while I was out. We're going to get into it. Some of the things that happened while I was sick. And we will definitely get into this championship game against IU. But to your point, and as you say so eloquently, it's still and always will be a Canes thing.
Because it's the Canes, baby.
Always and forever. Win, lose, or draw, always a Canes thing, just like it is with City. I was out and there were a lot of drop points while I was out. But I'm back. And I got my Manchester City shirt on, because it doesn't matter win, lose, or draw. It's always about City. So big ups to everybody that is here. Again, appreciate you all for joining. If this is your first time, we do certainly ask that you help me out by hitting that follow button, or subscribe button, hit that like button, all the things that all of your whatever favorite or even least favorite content creators need, right? That's how the algorithm works. It's what pushes the channel. It's what helps us to grow. So if you haven't already, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll jump into it. Big ups, everybody. Thanks again for being here. Let's see. We got Louis. Thank you, brother. Adam, MCFC, Danny, Briggsy. Big up to you. Simon Hood, Waves, what's up, man? Steve Finn, big up, Terry. Glad you're okay. Yeah, man, we're gonna get into what we're talking about tomorrow. Tomorrow's match against Galatasaray. But I did want to share a little bit because, I got plenty of support as I was going through what I was going through. Got a lot of support. A lot of you all here, a lot of people from LB's channel, Martin's channel, just reaching out, whether it be in the chat on the different streams, whether it be, Twitter comments or Twitter chat messages, Instagram messages, all of the things. You all showed me love, and I really do appreciate that. If you don't already know, I guess, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I found out that I had pneumonia. And so I had pneumonia, but I was pretty much working through it. I could go all the way back to like the beginning of the month, just after the holiday season, beginning of the month, and I had chest pain in my chest. And so I just thought it was, congestion. You go through the holiday season. Big up, Luke. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for all the support. But yeah, I thought I had congestion in my chest. It was just pressure there or whatever. I ended up going in because I started to get shortness of breath, couldn't really breathe like I should. So I went into the doctor. They told me I had pneumonia. Um, so I went into my doctor and then they sent me over to the ER. It was in the ER that I found out, okay, you got pneumonia in both lungs, and there's a little bit of fluid around your heart. They didn't seem too pressed about it, so I didn't either pressed about it either. Went on home, was there for probably about a week, and so then that's when again I just wasn't feeling better, and so I went back to my normal doctor, and they sent me back to the ER. And this would have been after. So last week Tuesday, I just wasn't feeling well. I just, like I said, hadn't really felt better like I should since I was taking the antibiotics for the pneumonia, all the things that they had given me. I just wasn't feeling better. Um, but so on that was on Tuesday. I didn't feel good enough to do the stream. Kind of like I said, shortness of breath, really tired, whatever. Wednesday went to work and um well, actually, Wednesday was a work from home day, so I didn't have to go into work, but I just, again, just wasn't feeling well. My wife has said, you need to go back to your doctor. So I scheduled that appointment. And long story, they sent me back to the ER because I just hadn't gotten better. Come to find out that the fluid around my heart had was continuing to increase and it was putting pressure on my heart. And so when they bring you into the ER for anything that you say is chest, heart, whatever, it's really interesting to see how they respond. And so when the nurse took off running down the hallway with my whatever printout, EKG, whatever the printout is, I don't know. She took off running down the hallway with it. Um, in that moment, you get a little concerned just because, like, well, first time I came in here, they didn't seem that concerned. Um, Long story short, they thought I was having a heart attack. I wasn't having a heart attack, thank God. But I did have, again, just increased fluid around my heart. They kept me from Wednesday night all the way through till Sunday. So I came home Sunday in the midst of the snowstorm. But um, they put a little they did a procedure. They drained the fluid around my heart. So I'm back. I'm feeling good. Um, so I did want to just share a little bit of what I was going through because again, you guys have been here. So many people, like I said, reached out, and so I know this isn't the normal stream, and we'll get into that stuff. But I did want to say to each and every one of you that did reach out, I really do appreciate it. Whether you reached out or not, whether you were just praying or thoughts and prayers, whatever it is, I do really appreciate it, and I'm glad to be back. Now I will tell you. Um, After you've been in the hospital for the better part of a week, my wife has already told me that if I get too excited, she's going to come downstairs, but she hears me yelling and screaming. She's going to come downstairs. And what did she say? She said, I'm going to tell your friends that you got to get off your stream. So sounds like a little kid, but I appreciate her for making sure I'm good. So all is well. So no need to be concerned. I will be back with my doctor later this week, and then I got some follow ups or whatever. But I feel good, so we are back. I will tell you what being down in the hospital does for you. It just gives you a lot of time to just sit around and um, think. So definitely spent the if you're on Netflix, I binge watched Homeland, and I watched the first 3 episodes of Starfleet Academy. If you're a Trekkie, then you'll know what that's about. But I did watch those. So again, just looking for things to do while I was down. But I do want to again appreciate each and every one of you for your thoughts, your prayers. Um, I do recognize that not everybody that listens or joins is a Christian or even professes to be religious in any way, shape, or form, and that's entirely your choice. I am, and that's my choice. And so I do want to show up on this channel, my name. I need to be able to show up as fully as I am, right? It be me. And so I was definitely reminded of a scripture um, that simply just says, "This I recall to my mind, therefore have I hope. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed. His compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is his faithfulness." And so for me, that was important. And definitely glad to be here to be able to be with you guys this week. So all of that is off the table. We've had that conversation. If you have thoughts, comments, questions, whatever, feel free to reach out. Feel free to ask it. You put it in the chat. I'll respond to it. But I wanted to at least hit it from the beginning so that we can get into all the other stuff. We can get into the footy talk. So appreciate everybody. Um, I will tell you, as I said um, to Snoopy in the beginning, I did watch the IU national championship game. Those of you that have been here every week, you know, at the end of every episode, I was always asking you guys, "Hey, I need your support for my Miami Hurricanes. We got this match, we got this match," and then the last one was the national title game. That was 2 weeks ago, I guess, at this point. Um, and yeah, because the Monday before last week, so yeah, last Monday was when that game happened. We ended up losing. You're correct. Uh, you're correct. I didn't give the verse itself, but it is Lamentations 3, 22 and 23. So actually it's 21 to 23, I believe. But yes, thank you. Appreciate that. But yeah, so lost. We lost the national championship game. We're gonna get to the soccer in a minute. We're gonna get to the football in a minute. But talking American football just for a little bit, we did lose. My brother-in-law called me today to make sure I was good, and he was like, "Man, you know, it's just really sad that lost. Really did this to you. Really, actually, probably almost literally broke my heart. Sent me into a tailspin. Sent me into the hospital. And those are all jokes, but it is kind of funny being a Canes fan living in the midst of Indiana, which Indiana University played the University of Miami, and so there's a lot of people around here that were rooting for IU. Unfortunately, couldn't pull it out. We had a chance with we had the ball, we had the game in our hand, threw an interception, turnover, ended up losing. It is what it is. It's always going to be about the Canes. And yes, it did break my heart and sent me to the hospital. That is my story, and I'm sticking to it. Um, Magnus says, "Hi, Tarek. He's having trouble with YouTube." I don't know what's going on with Magnus, but everybody else is here. So tell Magnus he's got to get it fixed up, got to get it worked out. Anyway, I guess sticking to American football before we make the transition, February the 8th is the Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl LX, which, if I got my Roman numerals correct, I think that's Super Bowl 60. The Seattle Seahawks versus the New England Patriots. I'm not a fan of either team, but I am a New England Patriots hater. So I will be rooting for Seattle in that match. Bad Bunny, the halftime performer, as you guys know, over there, y'all don't do halftime performances. Y'all don't do little mini concerts. Basically, we're doing a concert with Bad Bunny and we're putting a football game around it. That's what the Super Bowl is. That and all the commercials. So it's gonna be a great time. I don't know if I said I don't really care necessarily. I just don't want the Patriots to win. So, all right, that is all of the things pre-footy. At this point, 17 minutes in, this conversation is all about footy, unless, of course, you put something in the chat, because, of course, if you put it in, we're going to talk about it. As always, on Talkback Tuesdays, there is a link in the chat. It should be a pinned message at the very beginning or at the very top of the chat. If you want to jump in and you want to have your thoughts and you want to have your say, you want to give your feedback on any of the things that we're going to talk about, you are more than welcome. Again, now we are talking about footy, so this is the perfect time to come in and tell me about all the things that happened while I was out. good news on Gonzalez. We're going to be strong now for these next 3 tough games. We'll see, because I think, like I said, I'm back from an incredible knock. I believe Nico G is going to be back from his incredible knock. Everybody's good to go. There's just knocks and knockers all around, but we'll leave that for another day, at least until after I get monetized. Anyway, Miami Snoopy, same, hate all New England teams. Yes, I am. Yeah, yeah, I think I can say that same thing because I'm not a fan, Boston Celtics fan either. So yeah, that's probably a fair statement for me. Again, living in Indiana, the Indianapolis Colts, Peyton Manning. It was us versus New England for so many years. So yeah, definitely not a fan. Say Spartacus 3 times and he'll come in. Is that how this works? Spartacus, Spartacus, Spartacus. It's like Beetlejuice. Does he show up? Just show up when his name gets called? We'll see. Let's see how long it takes before he shows up. But either way, appreciate all of you. Big up, Kathy. Appreciate the comment. All right. So while I was out sick, there were a couple matches that took place. First was the Derby match against United. Uh, that was on the Saturday, I believe, before the national championship game, if I get my dates right. So yeah, there was a lot of heartbreak in my life at that time, and all I could do was just lay on the couch and just lay there and watch. I couldn't get too excited, couldn't get too bent out of shape. Um, it was just highly disappointing to sit there and watch as we dropped points to United of all people. Of course, United had a new manager and all the things, the quote unquote proverbial new manager bounce, but you don't expect that when they're bringing in Michael Carrick. So, but drop 2 points or drop 3 points, lose 2-0 to United. That was highly disappointing. But you know what? You take it, you accept the fact that it's a derby match. Anything can happen in a derby. And we all knew that going in. We expected to win. We were the better team. I still believe that. Uh, but going in, you know that because it's a derby, anything can happen. And so you have to go in and handle business. We didn't. And United ran out 2-0 winners. And I think it's kind of set the tone for um, for them so far, because they then go on to beat Arsenal. So that was disappointing. But even more disappointing than that, and that's crazy because losing the derby match to your rivals, that sucks, and that's disappointing. But even more disappointing than that was we go and we drop 3 points in the Champions League to Bodo Glimt. I believe we were counting on that win to push us into that top 8, so we don't have those extra matches, all of those things. And so then to go in there to that match and drop 3 points, it's like what after having lost to United, it's like what's really going on? That was very, very disappointing. Um, you don't expect to drop points to Bodo Glimt. You don't expect to lose to Bodo Glimt. And I understand. You're going to Norway, it's freezing cold, plastic pitch, all the things that people will say, right? I get it. I understand it. All the reasons why anything can happen. But when you are Manchester City and you go to Bodo Glimt, you do not expect to lose. I'm sorry. You just don't expect to lose. Kathy said the pitch and our lack of defensive players did us in. Yeah, I mean, we can point to the different things and we can point to them and say, well, this contributed and that contributed, and all those things are true, right? No, knocking any of those comments. All those things are true. But the fact of the matter is, we should be going there and winning matches. We didn't. That was disappointing. And then finally, on the weekend, I'm in the hospital, but I'm able to watch. And thankfully, we ended up with 3 points in that match. So I don't know how elevated my heart rate got in that match, but they were working really hard to keep my heart rate down. So it's probably easier to do when we're winning than if we're losing, because nobody likes to lose. And I'm not a good loser. I mean, I can be, you know, you accept it, but I'm not a good loser. I don't ever want to be good at losing. So, Thankfully, we won and kept my heart rate down. But in that match, we beat Wolves 2-0. Um, Omar Marmoush. So that was a big. I really want to hear from you guys because that was a big. At least for me, having not done a lot of Twitter leading up to the match like I normally would, I was somewhat actually quite surprised to see um, Omar Marmoush get the start over Holland, to see Phil not get a start. Big up Pepper Squad. I think that's Dylan. Good to see you, Tarek. I heard you get shout outs and love on Mankway and LB. Lots of love everywhere. Yeah. I heard a lot of that as well. And so it's really cool because you come into this and you're just a city fan. That's really what this is. I'm a city fan who happens to live in the US, and I've had the luxury of going on with other content creators and just having conversations and doing panel shows and things like that. And to go from just not, I'm still just an ordinary city fan. I'm just a city fan, but to see the community that has been built through my fandom of this club, to get people reaching out, to get people showing love, to get people concerned about your well-being, praying for you, thinking about you, thoughts, prayers, all the things, really does it puts it all into perspective, right? Because you're a part of this family of blues, and so yeah, I heard those things too, and so LB, he knew because he kept reaching out to me and asking me, "Hey, you want to be on this show? On the show? You want to be on this panel? Whatever, whatever." And I kept having to tell him no. And LB was actually the reason why I started. Well, not that's not true. I started doing this with Shades of Blue here in the States, but as far as like UK creators, LB was the first one that I was actually ever got on stream with, and so I always feel bad if I tell him no, too much. I want to say yes if I can. He helped me kind of get this going, and so I want to be able to say yes. And so at some point I was just like, look, man, I'm in the hospital. This is what's going on. Boom, boom, boom. And he asked me could he share, and I told him, you can tell people I'm in the hospital. That's fine. I didn't go into too much depth with him what was going on, so he didn't really have too much to say. But because of people like him, because of people like Martin, and because of people like all of you, um, again, you realize that there really is a family, and that you're just a part of it. And so I'm really thankful. So yeah, big ups, Dylan. I appreciate the support, and not just from you, but from everybody that had anything to say. Um, in support. So appreciate it. Say Donnaruma's bar 3 times and Spartacus will spawn. See, we've said this before and he hasn't shown up. So I don't know. Maybe he isn't around today. Maybe he's not available. I don't know. This is what happens when you cancel a week, right? People start to expect you to be there every single week. So when you cancel, you got to get to build it back up. So we'll see. But just in case, Donnaruma's bar, Donnaruma's bar, Donnaruma's bar, Donnaruma's bar. Or maybe I should say something negative about Savinho because he is the captain of the Savinho Defense League. Trade Savinho. Savinho's not good enough. Is Savinho a real Brazilian or not? If that doesn't get him to show up, he's just not going to be able to show up. So we'll see. But yeah. Keeling, glad to see you, Kathy. Was gonna say Savinho. See, we all know how to get on Spartacus. We know what to say to rile him up, to bring him out the woodwork. So again, just goes to show you how much we know each other and how much this thing we've built, how great it is. So yeah. So for me, it was a surprise to see the lineup and to see that Omar Marmoush was going to get that start. What were your thoughts? Did you guys think were you expecting Omar Marmoush? Were you hoping for Omar Marmoush? He might be studying. Yeah, he is. I think he is a student. So definitely might be studying. So yeah. But were you guys expecting Omar Marmoush? I know that morning. Again, I'm in the hospital. I'm checking my phone because there's nothing else to do. They wake you up at 3 o'clock to draw blood every morning, and then they come back and give you all your meds. So, but yeah. So I saw um, a group chat message from I'll just say it. I saw it from Martin that said, "Up, fans get what they want." Omar Marmoush is going to be starting, and Holland and Foden going to the bench. So, what were your thoughts? Is that what you were hoping for? Uh, Keely said, "You are the reason you had the community you do, Terry. The calmness, inclusiveness, and overall vibe is created with this great show. You should hold your head high, mate." You know what? I really do appreciate that. Those are really, really kind words, and I really appreciate that. So big ups to you, Keely. Again, always here. Appreciate that love. Again, speaking about Spartacus, yeah, I think he's studying. I expected changes after Pep's post-match comments after Bodo. So I didn't get to see his comments after Bodo Glimp. But when you lose again, because when you lose to Bodo Glimp, something has to change because that's not acceptable. That's just not acceptable. And so the players that played, those that didn't play, whoever, everybody needs to know that is not good enough. The level is higher than that. The expectations are higher than that. And so you got to bring it every match. And quite honestly, um, he hasn't been able to get a rest, he being Holland. So it was good. And you can always just say he wasn't dropped. He was just rested. He hasn't had a chance to we can play semantics and all that kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, Holland hasn't been good enough recently, and there's reasons why. But the fact of the matter is, he's not been good enough, and he needed a break. And so, big ups to Pep because that's a big call when you got the world's best number 9, the world's greatest goal scorer, taking him off the pitch at any point is always something that's going to open you up to scrutiny, open you up to a lot of conversation. If it doesn't go well, you're going to hear about it. But as Snoopy said, he did expect some changes, and Pep brought him in. So thought he was glad he rested both Foden and Holland, hoping they start clicking soon. I kind of assumed Marmoush would start as Holland was going to be dropped for that game. Glad to see Omar back. Hopefully he can kick on and show us his quality. Um, Dylan says, I wasn't expecting Marmoush, but I was glad to see it. Also think the positive result will encourage Pep to rotate more. We've been dead on our feet for a while, and this is the thing, right? This is why we have to make those changes because we've been punching ourselves silly. We don't have any energy left. Again, certain players, in this case, Holland, um, to a certain extent, Nico O'Reilly. There's just certain players we don't have rotation for, especially with all the players that are injured, right? So again, it was Nico G having to be spammed out every week, and then it became okay. Now we got to spam out Rodri again because we really don't have anyone to play that 6. And so we need we've needed to be able to make those rotations and to drop some players, get some players a rest. And so definitely, while I was surprised to see it, I was thankful to see that switch. What else happened while I was out? We brought in Antoine Semenyo. We got that deal across the line. We ended up also bringing Mark Gahey in. We got that across the line. So yeah, like I said, there's a lot that took place in those effectively week and a half to 2 weeks that I was pretty much down. So a lot changes in football in a short space of time. And so getting Semenyo in, of course, who you wish you could have gotten him in 3 games before. We could have used him, especially when we were dropping points to those players. Unfortunately, he's not able to play in the not able to play in Champions League, so that's messing with us. But big up Ed, and Community Therapy. Big up Ed, man. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate your support all the way throughout. Steve Finn, Terry, you're a great, genuine guy, and you're blue. So legends. Appreciate you, man. I really do appreciate that. O'Reilly is world class now. I remember his first full game versus Salford. What a player! He's been a big part of what it is that we do this season. And so having him healthy, having him ready to play, having him, I'm going to say, and maybe this is the wrong term, but I'm going to say, um, just like match fit. If I want to say it that way, he's just like he's got the energy to be able to play. He had been worn down like so many other players. You just kind of come to the end of your rope, and you're like, I just need a break. And so big ups to him. But yeah, so we brought in Antoine Semenyo. So in that game against Wolves, uh, Marmoush got the start. Of course, we know he ends up getting the goal. Scores on his return from AFCON. So big up to him. We also know that uh, Mark Gahey got the start in that match. Um, Antoine Semenyo got the start. He also has scored. So I think he's scored in 2 out of the 3 matches that he's played for us. So he's proven himself to be all that we said he was, right? He's going to be a goal scorer. That is the thing that separates Antoine Semenyo from the wingers that we've had in the past, or the wingers that we've had coming into this season. Yes, Doku is great. Savino, Savino. Here comes Spartacus. But no, just kidding. But Savino, young kid, good, plenty of potential. But none of them are putting the ball in the back of the net in the way that Antoine Semenyo is, and especially when we have a Holland that's tired and misfiring. We're bringing on Omar Marmoush. We need as many goal scorers on the pitch as we can. And so big ups to Antoine Semenyo. Got the start, got the goal. That's what we need from him. Uh, I will say that something that was just as big as those other changes, or just as important to us being able to get those 3 points, is having Mateus Nunes back. Nunes was back for this match, and he for all of the criticism that he took last season. I'll say the first half, because I think towards the end of last season, people started to see that, hey, Mateus Nunes is actually giving us something. We kind of criticize him a little bit as a fan base, but there's something that he's giving us that I think if you watch LB stream, you talked about the bozo gene and how that kind of went away. And so when he was not making those bozo mistakes, those big mistakes, then you realize that, hey, he's actually given us quite a bit. And so definitely got to shout out Nunes. I think him being back makes a difference, because we had been playing Rico Lewis at that right back position. And I love Rico Lewis, young kid, academy graduate, all of those things. I love it for him. But he's not what we need at that right back position. He's just not. And yes, I understand that we're talking about the same Rico Lewis that when Kyle Walker wasn't playing well, he was able to step in. And when João Cancelo wasn't playing well, he was able to step in. And Pep kind of built a system to play to his strengths. And I understand all of those things, but Rico Lewis is not what we need at right back at this point in time. And I just realized I had this comment up all this time, so my apologies. But Rico Lewis is not what we need at this point in time. And so Mateus Nunes, for all of his quote unquote flaws or faults or whatever, he has been that dude for us. Mateus Nunes has been great for us. And when he's not available, we notice. When he's not available, we don't play as well. It's not just that he has not been horrible or he's not been bad. He's actually been good for us. He's a net positive for us right now. And so big up to Mateus Nunes. The kid deserves all of the appreciation from all the City fans everywhere. We should be shouting that dude out from the rooftops. He's probably one of the best right backs in the league right now. And we said that, he couldn't defend. That was the issue, right? Nunes, he was good going forward, but he's not a great defender. That's why people were crying out to see Kuzanov at right back, because Kuzanov is a better right-sided defender. But I don't know that that's true. I just don't. I really don't. I like Kuzanov, and I'm glad he's being able to play right now. He's stepping into a gap that is very much necessary to be filled, and I appreciate that. But I don't think if it's me, I'm not playing Kuzanov at right back because we have Mateus Nunes. If Mateus Nunes is out, then maybe yes. Well, I'll play. I'll play Kuzanov there, but uh, Nunes has been good for us. He's been really, really good for us. And so I want to show him love. I want to give him all the props that he deserves. So definitely shout out to Mateus Nunes. Big ups, Dylan. Again, we added two ballers again, talking about Gahey and Semenyo. Excited for both. I'm with you on that. Lovely assist from Bernardo to Semenyo for his goal. Yes, yes. Our skipper, Kathy, hoping Gundo is not the vintage. So we're going to talk about this in a minute. We're going to get into some of these upcoming matches, but definitely we know Gundo was coming. Uh, Gundo and Leroy Sané for that matter. When Nunes is out, I get worried. He's a quality defender, and his midfield skills come in handy during the attack. I'm with you, Machiavelli, because again, he's played great for us, and so I just think as a fan base, and I think most of us have come around at this point. But I just want to make sure we give that man some love because he's become a vital part of what we do. I won't say he's first name on the team sheet, but he's not even penciled in. I'm writing his name in pen. If he's available, he's the right back. Put it in pen. No need to question about anybody else. And we go from there. Do you think we need to get it right back this window? I don't. And if we do, I don't think we need a starting right back. I think that we have Mateus Nunes, and I'm perfectly fine riding with him the rest of the season. Now, I also recognize that we need to make sure we have backups and all that kind of stuff, right? Because when he was out, it was Rico Lewis, or maybe we try to throw Ait Nori over there, whatever. So we need backup. So I'm not going to suggest we don't need to make sure that we have coverage when he's out. But if you're asking me, am I looking for a starter at right back? No, I'm good with what we have as far as a right back starter. We're going to get into some of the transfer discussions, but I heard a name. You probably heard a name too. You heard a name that sparked some pretty strong opinions, I'm sure. You had some real strong thoughts about whether this person who used to wear red is going to come into our club or not. So I don't know that it's a legit thing, but I'm willing to have a conversation between that player and Mateus Nunes. I'm certain that Nunes gives us as much. So we'll talk about it here in a minute. Nunes critics make me mad. All players make mistakes, and that's the key, right? I know I can be, when a player makes a mistake, it's like, oh, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't make that mistake. Oh, you're too good. Oh, you're supposed to be professional. All these things, right? I get it. I've heard myself say it. And the reality is, to your point, everybody does make mistakes. And if your favorite player, again, player FC, if your favorite player hasn't made a mistake recently, just hold on long enough. Give it a game or two. They're going to make their mistake. And so it's not about the players that make mistakes. It's how you respond to it. And to his credit, at least in my opinion, when he has made mistakes, he hasn't hidden from it. He's kind of stepped up front. Yep, I made a mistake, and he's improved. And I think that's the biggest testament to Mateus Nunes is that he was making more mistakes than we would have wanted, right? But he has continued to step up, continue to improve, to continue to get better. And he is a better player today than he was, at least as a right back. He is a better player today than he was when we brought him in or when he started playing in that position last season. And so, again, for everybody who says, well, Pep doesn't make players better, I don't know if he made him a better midfielder, but he's definitely made him a better right back. And so definitely there. Machiavelli said, nah, we don't need another right back. We finally went and got a left back, and he's a backup to Nico, who Pep turned into a world-class left back. And that's cool, right? Because, again, we went out, we brought Ryan Ait Nori, bringing him in, thinking he was going to be the one that was going to basically replace Nico O'Reilly. Nico O'Reilly stepped into that role last season, played really well, but you also know that he's playing out of position, and so you're like, okay, go get us a specialist at that position, someone who grew up playing this position, and can play it consistently well. And no knock to Ryan Nori. Again, he was just got back from AFCON as well, and he's been good since he's been back. But the reality is, he's not done enough to this point to replace Nico O'Reilly. Now we know with Rodri out and Nico G coming back from his incredible knock, that Nico O'Reilly has been pushed into midfield on occasion and had to play different roles. And again, we know he can play that. That's where his if you want to say training really is, it's as a midfielder, but he has been a lights out left back for us, probably playing himself into position for the English national team to be the left back that goes with them, travels with them to this summer's World Cup. So it would be hard pressed uh, on Nico O'Reilly to just put someone over him that hasn't, earned it on the pitch. And likewise, you can bring in somebody else. You can go spend money and bring in a specialist right back. But there's no guarantee that they're going to beat out Mateus Nunes. And as of what I've seen right now, Nunes has been really good for us. So we will need to make that we will need to make that choice, and we'll need to go find a right back at some point. But again, if you ask me, do we have to get it done this season? I don't think we do. But again, also recognizing that we've had some injuries, and so you don't want to be short-sighted. You'd rather have the player and not need them than to need a player and not have it, especially when the transfer window has closed. Even Sir Allen has chilled out with Nunes. Yeah, man, that just goes to show you how good he's been, because again, Allen wasn't necessarily a fan, but when you play well, you play well. And that just is what it is. Yeah, yeah. We're talking about TAA. Yeah, that's the guy. So we'll talk about him in a minute when we get into the transfer conversation. But again, I don't think a lot of folks want him. The locals don't want him. That much is clear. Yeah. Rumors, Liverpool looking at Wharton in this window. If available, should we be in there competing for his signature? So we have, I guess it depends on how you see Adam Wharton, right? Because he is a good passer from deep. He can dictate play with his passing. But when I'm sitting in the hospital, held hostage, and I'm watching the matches, I don't know that I think he ended up with he got a second yellow, ended up getting, if I remember correctly, I think he got a red card because he got a second yellow. And again, that's just him trying to play defensively, trying to make tackles, trying to do that side of the game. If you just ask him to just sit back and ping balls left and right and center, yeah, he's going to be exceptional at that. But if you're looking for someone that's going to get stuck in, make tackles, win duels, all that kind of stuff, I don't know. I don't know if Wharton is that guy. So, Brianna, I guess the question is, what do you want from somebody in that position? We've got Rodri, we've got Rodri and Nico G, assuming that they're both healthy. So, if they're both healthy, who's playing? Who is it? Where is this person going to play? Where's Adam Wharton going to play? Um, you know, uh, there's always the conversation about uh, from Nottingham Forest. What's his name? Elliot Anderson. Again, more of an 8, more of a box to box, not really a 6. Whereas maybe Adam Wharton is more of a 6, who's not a destroyer in the same way that, say, a Caicedo is or somebody like that, but definitely a great passer. So it just goes to it goes to how what do you want from that position, and then a lot of it, I think, will depend on where we see Rodri. If we think Rodri is going to be back, he's going to be back to his normal self, his old self, and he's gonna sign a new contract. He's going to be here for the long haul. Then maybe you don't go get Adam Wharton. If Rodri's not going to be here, maybe you can pair a Nico G to do some of the, I won't say destroying, but some of the dual winning and the ball winning. Maybe you can get Elliot Anderson to do some of that. But just dictating play, yeah, I think Adam Wharton is good. But would I go get him just to keep him away from Liverpool? No. If we don't have a place to play him, if we don't have a legit plan for how to take advantage of him, then I just think you just waste him. Although he is English, so we need the English. That English quota is something we have to be mindful of. So, yeah, I think that's something to be said there. So big up Rihanna. Let's see what else we got in here. Someone said City want him. Crikey, that will rile Liverpool fans. Not sure on him defense wise. We did have Sterling from Liverpool. So yeah, again, we're having the conversation about some transfer rumors, if you will, and Trent Alexander-Arnold's name came up, and of course, Pep appreciating the player and things of that nature. And again, it is transfer window season. None of this stuff necessarily has any real backing or really any real anything, any truth to it necessarily, but those rumors are out there, right? And so I think everybody said when Trent Alexander Arnold was playing for Liverpool, man, he would be an amazing right back for the way that we were playing. Pep would like love this guy, right? And I'm sure Pep would still love him, especially the things that you think of that you're going to get from, a Nunez or whatever. That ability to that midfielder basically in playing as a right back. That I think the thing, in my opinion, right? Um, I don't think that Trent Alexander Arnold is as good a defender as Mateus Nunes is. Is he gonna be spraying balls around and yeah, that he's exceptional at that, right? I don't necessarily, I'm not necessarily a fan because he played for Liverpool, right? But you got to give credit where credit is due. We got to just have honest conversations, right? We can't just sit here and lie to ourselves. The dude on the ball at his feet, dude is exceptional. That doesn't mean I want him though, but he is exceptional with the ball at his feet. Um, he might upset the team's equilibrium. Too much of a scouse for me. Yeah, I mean, I think if he does, if he comes back, right, he's going to come back humble because he left Liverpool. They had just won the league. He's leaving at the top of, the top of his game. He's going off to Real Madrid, biggest club in the world. All of those things, right? He's at the top of his game. Then he goes to Real Madrid and gets exposed to a certain extent. So if he comes back, he's going to come back somewhat. I think, I hope at least, he's going to come back a little bit um, humbled, a little bit humbled to say, you know what, I made the step. You're glad you made it. You wanted to see what you could do, but then the reality is, I'm not maybe at that level yet. And again, one part of your game can be exceptional, and then another part not. Right? He's an exceptional on the ball, but as a defender, he's not been great. So again, I don't know that there's any truth to him leaving Real Madrid. I don't know that there's any truth to, even if he does leave Real Madrid, to him potentially coming here. But it is a topic of conversation, and so we're having a conversation about it. Gahey and Nico O'Reilly should be the starting left side of the England defense. I think it was Carragher who I saw didn't have that, but I think that for me, I'm with you. They're going to be playing together from now to through the end of the season. I don't know how many matches we are in, but basically 20. We're basically halfway through the season, right? So let's say they've got another 18, 18, 19 matches together. They're going to have so much chemistry that I don't see how you ignore that. If you don't have a left back that is like lights out, and right now I don't believe England does. If you don't have somebody that's lights out, you almost have to play the combination. And again, I recognize that this isn't EAFC, this isn't FIFA, right? You don't just get to match up the countries, and so you have this built-in chemistry on your team or whatever, however all that works, right? But the reality is, when if you play this many matches, let's say out of the next, I should probably look at the schedule, but let's say they play 14 matches together because maybe somebody gets a rest and whatever. So 14 matches. to kind of build that chemistry, build that understanding, build that camaraderie. And then you go into the summer and you have the World Cup. I just don't see how you pass that up. I've been wrong before. Yeah, Pep every week. I think Pep's going to do something from a lineup perspective. He doesn't do it. So would it shock me if there's if the coach, what's his name, formerly of Chelsea, I can't remember his name. Anyway, would it shock me if he doesn't make that decision? It wouldn't shock me, but I think he should for his own sake and for England's sake. I think he should. Um, yeah, but Sterling wasn't a Scouser. Trent is born and bred there. He'd never be forgiven. Well, I mean, you saw the reaction when he decided he was going to go to Real Madrid, and that's leaving the country, right? Coming back, it's just going to be insane. I don't know. Can he handle that? We all know Sterling had to deal with that every single week. Uh, Quite honestly, Jack Grealish had to deal with it every single week. You come to City, and for whatever reason, every other club across the rest of England feels the need to boo a player that didn't leave you. They didn't leave you. What are Wolves fans booing Jack Grealish for? It makes no sense to me. What are we doing? He didn't leave your club, but these kinds of players get that reaction, and Sterling got that reaction. So I'm sure if for whatever reason Trent Alexander-Arnold did show up at City, he would get that criticism and that same reaction. And to be clear, I am not advocating for Trent Alexander-Arnold. However, if he shows up and he puts on that blue shirt and he signed with our team, he's got that blue jersey, that sky blue shirt, I am going to support him like everybody else, right? We all should be the same way. Before he comes, that's something different. But once if that ever to happen, then we would see that happen. So don't think Crystal Palace will let Wharton go this window. I don't know. Yeah, Tarek, his diagonal crosses and corners taken quickly. Yeah, I hated that quick corner. That was so disappointing. Big up, Aaron. Appreciate you, brother. But yeah, would like to think Peter Hayes could be molded into a DM in time. I do believe that there was conversation about him playing as a DM because I think he's still growing into his body as a defender. But having played an entire season at Girona in La Liga, I just don't know that you take that player and try to force him into a different position at this point. Could he do it? Maybe. He's supposed to be really, really good on the ball. So I'm not saying he couldn't do it. But I would be looking to get him into a center back position. Yes, the answer was Tuchel, Tommy Tuchel. That's who I was thinking about as the manager for England. He should be the one that is going out there and making sure that Mark Gahey, Nico O'Reilly, left side of defense, just locked down. Boom, done. Figure out the rest of it. Big ups, Aaron. Thanks for subscribing to the channel, brother. Appreciate you. I think I read one of your comments a few minutes ago, but definitely appreciate you. And 56 minutes into it, let's pause for I was gonna say station identification, but that's what they say on the radio. I don't know. But let's pause for a second. If you are new here, this is your first time, and you have not already subscribed to the channel, do me a favor. Do like Aaron. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Join the channel, join this community, join this group of this family of City fans. But you don't have to be a City fan, right? We're going to talk everything. And quite honestly, sometimes we want to hear a different perspective. Especially when City's losing, I need to hear a different perspective. Good Lord, it's frustrating when we were dropping points. But so yeah, big ups to you. Again, if you're new, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Much appreciated. Thank you all. Yep, it was Tommy Tuchel. Yep, thank you. Think Grealish back at City now regarding treatment so fully on our books again. Hoping he gets well and someone comes in the summer for him, if not Everton. So I think this happened while I was out. I do believe did he get injured? I saw something about him coming back to City, but I didn't. Again, you're laid up in a bed. so I didn't go into too much detail trying to figure out what was happening. So someone put in the chat, what's going on with Grealish? Did he get hurt? What happened? What brought him back? But yeah, fully on our books again, hoping he gets well. Hopefully someone comes in the summer for him, right? If not Everton. Yeah, you hope Everton's going to come in for him because he's shown. Oh, okay, there it is. He broke his foot. Yep, that sucks. That sucks. But it sucks for him as a person, sucks for him as a player. As a City fan, it sucks because again, I think we had come to accept the fact that his future lied somewhere outside of City. And so having him back is cool. But I don't expect him to play. Especially with a broken foot, he's out, until next season sometime. But hopefully he's well enough that he can, like you said, Kathy, can get that move, whether it's to Everton or somewhere else. Hopefully he's done enough that teams will come in for him. We'll see. Malik, big up, Tarek. Similar names there with me. Watched you a lot on LB's channel. Hope you're well. Appreciate that, man. Definitely. You'll see a lot of crossover, right? A lot of crossover between my channel and LB's channel, my channel and Martin's channel and LB's channel, right? It's a the we're not as a fan base. We're not as big as an Arsenal. We're not as big as a United. We're not as big as some of these others. So you do see a lot of the same names, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that we support each other, and I appreciate that Martin lets me come on his show. I appreciate that LB lets me come on his show, and even though I'm doing something very similar, we don't look at it as I'm competing with you guys. No, we're all City fans, and we're all out here to just have our say. Big ups to you, Aaron, also from LB's channel. Didn't know you had yeah. So this is week 14. This is the 14th week that we've done this. It's really been 15 weeks because last week I wasn't able to be here. But so yeah, what does that make that? Almost 4 months that I've been doing this. And so again, big ups to those content creators who are much bigger than me, but don't see it as competition and support you, give you space to come on. When you do come on, they big up your channel and all that kind of stuff. So again, to me, it's what being a City fan is, right? It's a big family, and so I appreciate it. Appreciate you, Definitely glad to be back. So yeah. So we're talking about Wolves, Nunez. We talked about Gahey. He got the start. What were your thoughts on Gahey? I think he definitely helped to marshal the back line again. When you've had to play Max Elaine and Kuzanov, the one thing you don't have is any experience. Kuzanov he started a lot of matches at his previous stops, but again, it's a different level, right? And so now playing for City, that combination of Max Elaine and Kuzanov, they did what they could do. But the fact of the matter is there's just a experience level that isn't there. And so they needed time to play together to gel. But more importantly, we needed a face like a Mark Gahey who can come in with all of his experience, both playing for England, captaining for Crystal Palace, all those things, come in and actually lead and guide the back line. And so I'm glad to see that combination of Kuzanov and Gahey. So hopefully they'll continue to build that chemistry as well. Kathy said all blue channels together spreading the love. Absolutely. Absolutely. Simon said Gahey was very composed. I agree with you. Again, I saw some comments from Pep, or actually from Gahey actually himself. He talked about how much there's still to learn and how things are so, it's quite a bit different. And of course, we all know playing for Pep is going to be different. But definitely appreciate having that experience. I'm glad that the club, shout out to Viana. He was decisive, went out, got his man, got it done. I wasn't sure if we were going to get it done, but he did, and so big ups to him. Kathy said she's dreaming of a Kuzanov, Gahey, Diaz, and Gavardiol backline. Come the day when the latter player. So Yeah, I mean, that's a combination. Gahey, let's see, because Gahey's gonna be on the left, Gavardio probably left back, left center back Gahey, Diaz at right center back, and then Kuzanov right back if you played that combination of players. So yeah, it's definitely that goes back to was it the treble season when we basically played four center backs? That's what that harkens back to. Less of a you get less from your right side because right now uh, Mateus Nunes is able to get up and down that right side. He's pinging balls in. He's getting assists galore. So you lose that by playing Kuzanov on that right side. But of course, we've seen Gavardio be able to do that. So if we went back to Gavardio at left back, I think we'd be fine. Do I want to see that personally? No. But I also know that he can do that and he can do it well. Big ups to I Heart the 80s for subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Aaron said I wouldn't be opposed to Gavardio going back to left back on his return to allow for Diaz and Gahey. Yeah, so I think you're gonna see some of that, right? I don't know that you'll see it every week, but you're gonna have to see it at least some to make sure that Diaz is going to get his minutes on the right side. He's going to probably be, that looked at as the captain there, or the one that's the vocal, one that's kind of leading the line and telling everybody where they're supposed to be, so on and so forth. But Gahey's got to get minutes. So whether it's Gahey at left back, Gahey at left center back, Gavardio at left back, Gavardio getting rest. I'm pretty sure that Gahey's going to get his minutes. But yes, you can't really not play them together at some point. And so to accommodate that, you're probably going to see Gavardio going back to left back, at least to some level. Talk about that pass to Semenyo. Yeah. I think that was the pass from Bernardo. Yeah, that was a pass from Bernardo. Great pass. So last thing I want to say about this match, Wolves match, of course, it's the big talking point coming out of the match, and that was was it a handball? Was it not a handball? We saw the ref get brought over to the monitor. Usually when they bring you over to the monitor, it is almost a certainty. And I wish I had the numbers. Like what percentage of the time does the referee stick with his initial call? Usually, and I'm just going to throw a number out there. You can tell me you think it's higher, lower, whatever. But for me, I'm going to guess 95% of the time, if VAR calls the ref over to the monitor, the ref is going to overturn because there's something there that maybe they didn't see, or someone else is telling them, hey, that's probably come on, man. That was a foul. That was a penalty. That was this, that, and the other. And so they get called over, and they usually make that change. And in this case, this ref, I don't know his name. I don't remember. He's a new ref, first match he's ever refereed in the Premier League. He decided, you know what? Not a handball. Not a handball in his mind. He said it's not a handball because the referee, the defender, hand was in a natural position. Again, it's weird because on one hand they talked about making yourself bigger, and I don't see how you couldn't have how could you say he didn't make himself bigger when his arms are out to his side? So if you're making yourself bigger with your hands out here, I don't know how you can say in the same breath that then it was a natural position. I suppose those two things aren't mutually exclusive, but most of the time it is. So yeah, that was a bad call. Simon said, we've been on the end of some bad VAR calls lately, VAR calls. Yeah. And it just feels like it's like a snowball effect because every week now it feels like there's another one. There's another one. And it's like they jump through these hoops to try to explain why. Well, you didn't see what you saw. No. I know you think you saw what you think you saw, but you didn't see what you think you saw. What you really saw was a player with his hands in the natural position, or well, it was just a glancing. It was just a glancing blow to the knee. It wasn't really full on. He kind of slowed down. They got all these excuses and all these reasons why that call's not being made in City's favor. And all I ask is just be consistent, because there's too many times where we don't get the benefit of that call. I should be used to this because, again, Snoopy, you should be used to this. We're Canes fans, and in many cases, it's the logo on the side of the helmet, or the badge on the front of the jersey, the front of the shirt. That is how you get you. That's how you get refereed. Well, when they go to make that call, they have the badge in the back of their mind. When they go to make that call, oh, they have the U on the side of the helmet in the back of their mind. And that's ridiculous. Come on, man. Let's just be consistent. If it's not a foul, it's not a foul. Okay, I can accept it, but don't call it the next time either. Don't call it when it's against us. Be consistent. And I think that's what most fan bases are asking for. But I will say, when they did not make the call, the handball, it was quite honestly, I feel like it was kind of celebrated by the media, celebrated by rival fans, celebrated all across, except for if you're a City fan. Everybody else was glad to see um, City get given, a hard time, because in their mind, for whatever reason, I have no idea why, in their mind, City always gets it their way. I don't understand why people think that. But yeah, I think they do. Yep. Don't believe your lying eyes, City fans. Yep. What, you did not see it. That is not at all what happened. The straight leg high tackle on Dogu. Yep. Nope. No, no, no. That was just glancing. It was just a glancing blow. There was no force behind it. And a man missed it. He missed at least one match in between. But there was no force in behind it. Come on, man. What are we doing? I think one of the things I say on like my tweets or whatever, when I talk about uh, when I post about the show on Tuesdays, and there's always a comment in there about VAR discussions, and it feels like every single week there is something that you can say about VAR. Maybe not always about us. Recently, it has been, but there's always a VAR discussion, and there's always a lack of consistency. Some would say that's just the state of the refereeing in England, but I don't know. But it's got to change. I don't know. Aaron said, "I don't mind a bad decision from time to time, but it happens far too often." Yeah, I think it's unfair to expect anybody to be perfect. We're gonna get bad calls. I think having 3 or 4 in a row for the same against the same team that all go against you, that it just feels like again, I'm a conspiracy theorist. Well, not, I'm really not, but as a fan or as a supporter, you probably are. You always think your club is being done wrong, your team is being targeted, whatever. So say what you want, but it definitely feels like we are being uh targeted to some extent. But we got to play through it, got to keep going. You can't, and I think so. To go back to the derby, right? So of course, Dalot breaks his studs down Doku's knee. That was frustrating, and I believe that he should have gotten a red card. But it was like in the first 5 minutes of the match, right? That doesn't say we shouldn't have got it, because we should have. He should have been penalized, and we should have been playing basically the entire match against 10 men. But once the call doesn't happen, we have a responsibility as a club, as players. They're the responsible to now, okay, put that behind you and go finish the game. Go play the game. And I don't think we did. I think I'm not going to say that call, we never recovered from it, but we weren't good. And you can't just use that as an excuse, especially when you had better parts of 80 minutes to play through it. So you never know. I don't know. Just when it's City. When Liverpool or Forest file a complaint, they come out and they admit they were wrong. Howard Webb had the nerve to say Dalot's tackle wasn't a red. Yep, it was just glancing. It was just glancing. They touted his bravery rather than the fact that he was wrong. Again, talking about the ref, I believe Snoopy might have put his name in the comment. Farai Halam. Again, I'm probably butchering that. Whatever. But yeah, they celebrated him, celebrated his bravery. Oh, his willingness to not make that call, to not change his mind. He was, yep, yep, yep. Just remember that. Remember when it goes the other way. How Xavi Simmons got a red for that tackle on Van Dyke, and Delo didn't get one for that one on Doku blows my mind. Again, this is the consistency we all want, right? As you said, we want more consistency. That's what we all want. We want more consistency. Again, every fan base probably feels that they are being done wrong, but I personally feel like it's pretty objective and not subjective. You can look at these things and objectively say that should have been a call, that should have been a red, that should have been this, that, the other, and we didn't get it. So, yeah, the Wolves one was bad because Pep finally said something. Yeah, the call against the Palace keeper. Yeah, last year's cup final against Dean Henderson. Again, really bad call. I don't want to spend too much time. Again, similar scenarios have different outcomes. If VAR is there to help make the correct call, makes no sense. Yeah, the reality is that even VAR, those refs, whoever's the VAR is a different player this week than it was last week, and so there's going to be some amount of you want the whatever home base is, right? Whoever's in charge of all this, you want them to make sure this is what we're looking for. This is what a red card is. This is what a red card is not. And then be consistent across that. But like with every time, why do they tell us who the referees are going to be for each match, right? Because we know it's going to be refereed differently if it's this person than if it's that person. And so we have to learn to play through it. That's all I can say. We just have to learn to play through it. Watch when that same ref does the same thing against Liverpool, United, etc., and they call him out for it. Right? I don't think he'll do it again. I think behind the scenes they are having a conversation with him and saying, "You can't do that." Especially not being as experienced as the people that are telling you that there's a foul or you should go back and review it. I don't think they're going to let him do that again. It just sucks for us because they came out and instead of acknowledging that, yeah, you know what, we disagree. And there were some former refs that did come out and say that they disagreed, and then all of a sudden, a couple of days later, it's like, oh well, I thought about it some more, and I could see why. Man, get out of here. Again, it is what it is. All right. Let's so again, of course, we talked about the injuries. We didn't talk about it, but Ruben Diaz and Vardy all go out. So we needed Max Lane and Kuzanov. Now we brought in Gahey, so we've recovered from that. I'm thinking about all the things that happened while I was out sick. We already talked about the transfers, of course. So tomorrow night, City takes on Galatasaray. We talked about Gundo and Sane return, and I'm always one of those people that is kind of like, I don't want to say scared, but it makes me nervous when former players come back. These guys maybe not as much, just because they're at the tail end of their career, especially Gundo. But there's always something to show up just to say, hey, you might have given up on me, but I'm still here. I still got a little something to prove. I still got a little something to give, whatever. So this match against Galatasaray is going to be, it's probably the worst timed match we could have. Rodri is out. I think he's suspended for these matches in the Champions, or this next match in the Champions League. So we're going to be without Rodri. We're hoping that Nico G is back because we need that six to partner with probably Bernardo in midfield. Semenyo and Gahey can't play because we got to get through, quote unquote, the group stage first. So you're going to be short at center back again. You're going to be, you're hoping your wingers are going to be good. You're going to bring Haaland back in, but this is just a really poorly timed match in my mind, but I do think we should. Um, Joel McKinnon says we might lose tomorrow. To be honest, it's possible, um, but I never predict the City loss, so I'm gonna say that we win. It might be a 1-0, might be a 2-1, but I'm gonna still say that we win. But I understand why you would say that there's a possibility that we could drop some more points, and that again just really sucks. Some people say we should just throw it away. Some people say, why waste your time? Just throw the game away. We're probably gonna have to play in the those extra matches anyway, so you might as well keep everybody healthy. I don't ever like the idea of just throwing matches away, but I understand the rationale. Maybe it's not something I would do, but I understand the rationale. So um Oshaman versus Ake. Lord Jesus God Almighty, help us, Lord. Yeah, that could be, especially if you're playing Ake at yeah. So Ake, and is it probably gonna be Ake and Kuzanov then? You're gonna play Nico O'Reilly on left back. I don't know. He's got pace, got power. Um, but I'm not really. I don't want to disrespect the man because then he might go drop three on our head and I'll feel bad about it. So I'm not going to disrespect him, but I'm not scared of him. Maybe I should be. Maybe I haven't watched him enough to whatever. But I think we're gonna be okay. I think we're gonna get like I said, I think we'll get we'll win either 2-1, 1-0, something like that. We'll get it'll be a tight game. I don't expect it to be easy. But I'm hoping that we go ahead and get these points. We need to. Complaining about the referees in the Premier League is never ending conversation. Yeah, you're right. So, like I said, at some point you got to just stop talking about it and move on. So yeah, I agree with you completely. I already talked about Joel saying we might lose tomorrow. Aaron said, "Would you start Holland or rotate and save for Spurs?" I think you. That's tough. I think I bring Holland back in because I want a response from him. I know Spurs, we got whatever, but I need a response. And maybe you bring in Marmouche and save Holland for Spurs again. Two substitute appearances is going to kickstart Holland. I'm pretty sure because no, he's not going to like it, right? So if you do bench him or rest him or rotate him, however you want to define that, it's gonna put a little it's gonna light a firecracker up his butt. So we'll see. At least it should. It should. Hope it does. Holland and Foden need to step up now. Yeah. Hoping PSG beat Newcastle. A draw would not surprise me. You need Kuzanov to cover for Ake's lack of pace. Yeah. Scary thought. That's going back to the Osimhen versus Ake. But again, you need that cover. It can't just be one on one because that's a losing proposition. There should be cover. There should be balance, and so Kuzanov is going to provide that. We will just have enough to we will just have enough to get over the line tomorrow. 2-1 City. That's what I'm thinking too. Cool family. I'm thinking it's the 2-1. If you put your thoughts in the chat. Tell me what you think the score line is going to be for tomorrow's match against Galatasaray. Osimhen is a pressing demon. He wastes chances, but he usually gets enough that he'll convert one of them. See, and this is what I was thinking about. I wasn't concerned because I thought he's going to waste chances. He wasn't going to be clinical. But yeah, if he's going to be pressing really hard, winning the ball back and winning it up high, then yeah, that could be dangerous. Again, I don't pay attention enough to um, Turkish matches so to even know per se. But I remember him from Napoli. But we'll see. Galatasaray, Spurs, then Liverpool. Yeah, so I got upcoming matches. Got a list. We're kind of in a tough little run right here. We got the Galatasaray match on Wednesday. We have the Tottenham match Tottenham away on Sunday. Then that following Wednesday is Newcastle, and then the following Sunday is Liverpool. So yeah, this is not going to be um, an easy run of fixtures. Now the Newcastle match, I believe, is EFL, so we have a bit of a, I think it's a 2 or 3-0 lead already. So hopefully we can just do enough to just get through. But yeah, it's a rough set of fixtures. I agree with you, Aaron. Um, a PSG Newcastle draw would be better for us. Okay, so that's good to know. I haven't looked at the table to see, but if that's what we need, then come on, Newcastle, get this draw for us. Snoopy says he thinks it's going to be 3-1 City. Okay. Aaron says 2-1. I'm going 2-1. Joel says 2-2 City or 2-1 City, not trusting the back line. That's the fear. That's the concern. That's why we went out and brought in Mark Gahey. Unfortunately, uh, just can't help us in this one. Simon Hood says 2-2. Louis has got all the confidence for everybody. Louis is speaking with all the chest for everybody. He said it's going to be 3 or 4-1. He said we smacking them jokers tomorrow. At least I hope that's what he's saying, and not us losing 3-4-1. Louis, I'm trusting that you believe we're going to win, Louis. I believe in you, and you believe in us. Let's see. Let's So we ran through this fixture list already. Of course, City. I believed in you, man. I just, as I said it, I was like, well, maybe he feels that it's going to go the other way. Which, again, I mean, that's your prerogative. You can feel like we're going to lose. That's a spanking, though. If it was 3-4, that's a spanking. Ooh, Lord. So definitely don't want that. But yeah, we'll see. Not jinxing with the score. That's okay, Kathy. If you don't want to give a score prediction, that's okay. We don't want you to jinx it. They have Davinson Sanchez from Spurs at center back. If we can't score 3, that's funny. Poor Davinson Sanchez. I think three feels a lot, especially because we haven't really been scoring. We were shut out against United. We got 1 against Bodo Glimt. We got 2 against Wolves, thankfully. But we haven't been, and I guess if you go back, we got 2 against Newcastle. We scored 10 against Exeter City, so that doesn't count though. So we get 2 goals. So we have scored 5 goals in 4 matches. So yeah, I don't know that I personally don't go into this match thinking we're going to run up a bunch of goals. 2-1 feels about right to me, but we'll see. Of course, the more goals we score, the better I feel. LB jinxes the score all the time. He never learns. What did he say? I didn't watch today. Did he give a score prediction at all? What did he say the score was going to be? So I can know if I should text him and blame him if for some reason, some godforsaken reason, we don't get the win. I don't want to blame somebody, so I want to make sure I blame the right person. Got Club Brugge last season. Vibes with this one. Will be a tricky fixture, but if we play how we know, we can win comfortably. We have to turn up. Yeah, we have to go out there and handle business. That's the key. We had to go out there and do what we got to do. And unfortunately, these last few matches haven't been great. But we do come into this on the back of a win, and so hopefully that is enough to, mentality wise, we go. Mentality have to change in the team. Who is the next Ramadan Mahrez? Who is the second half Gundo and KDB? Yeah, those guys always showed up. They always stepped up to the plate. They were always present and accounted for in those moments. And so we need people that we can count on, and we need people that are going to show up. Unfortunately, like I said, this is just a really poorly timed, because we don't get the benefit of a Semenya. We don't get the benefit of a Mark Gahey. But hopefully they come back in soon. And I think after this match, I think they'll be fine. I think is how that works. So I don't know about today. I haven't been in streams, but usually he does. Yeah, talking about LB. Night Tarek and All Blues, nearly 1 a.m. here. Keep the faith. Big up, Kathy. As always, appreciate you being here. I know this is a late night stream for you, so thank you, and for everybody that's on the UK, I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me late night on your side. So we're gonna be here for just for a few more minutes. Give me 10 more minutes. We'll get out of here. Transfer discussions. We talked about Trent Alexander-Arnold already. Oscar Bob. I saw Oscar Bob 35, 36 million. Is that still that conversation was kind of happening when I was in the hospital? Is that still maybe to Fulham, or is there somebody else that's stepping up? 2 a.m. in Bosnia. I didn't know you were in Bosnia. Wow. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you tuning in. Am I doing a watch along for the game? No. I will be back at work tomorrow. At least that's my plan. I know Shades of Blue, which is where I got my start. All my Shades of Blue family, my show bros, they typically will do a watch along. Crunk will probably do a watch along tomorrow. I know LB will do a watch along. So there'll be plenty of places. If you're a City fan, you're looking for a watch along. Of course, there will be plenty of places to watch it. Unfortunately, I do have to work. I thought about taking one more day before I go back in, but that's just me being lazy at that point. So I'm going to go back to work tomorrow. I will be working from home, however, so I will be watching the match, but I won't actually be able to do a watch along. Knowing our club, the Bob deal will have a buyback clause. I hope so. Again, you hope to see the kid reach his potential. Seeing him in the States a few seasons ago in that summer tour before he got hurt, he was exceptional. And I say this with no reservation at all. He was the best player on the pitch, especially for City in all of those matches. Holland was there. He was the best player. Oscar Bob was the best player on the pitch in all those matches. So it does suck to see a player get hurt and maybe not reach that potential that you saw. It was right there. It's just the timing of his injury sucked really bad for him. Some of the cool families said City are asking for 40 million now. Okay. Maybe he ends up at Fulham. We've seen, Emile Smith Rowe, who was at Arsenal, goes over to Fulham, does well. Is he great? I don't think he's great. But he's shown well for himself, and so I think Oscar Bob will do the same wherever he ends up. I think he'll show well for himself. Cisco says, "Best of luck, Oscar, but it's time to go and grow." Kid is a cautionary tale on not getting overly excited by such a minuscule sample sizes. You heard me say it. He was the best player on the pitch, and it was the summer tour. He had moments. He had that Newcastle moment, exceptional. But you're right. It was small sample size. I still believe that he's going to hit the heights, but it's just probably not going to be with City. It may not even be in the Premier League. I don't know. But yeah, I think he's still going to show some levels. He was a baller pre-injury. I agree. I think it's just unfortunate because of that leg break and what the national team manager said about him. Recipe for disaster. Yeah, it did not help for his national team manager to come out and say that he had been really poor. I don't really have the quote in front of me, but yeah, he basically said he just hasn't been good. He's just not good right now. You can't, that sucks. You can't recover from that. So we'll see. FPL already saying Bob is left. The quote that I saw, or the tweet that I saw earlier, basically just said that basically it was almost all agreed. I don't remember who. I can pull up Twitter and see if I can see who it was that said it, but basically thought that everything was almost done. So we'll see. Aaron says, for me, I think both Bob and Savio have to leave and bring in a better winger for the right, or put Cherky there. I mean, Cherky's been playing on the right. He's starting on the right and coming inside. And then you have Nunez that's kind of playing that overlap to keep the width while Cherky comes inside and looks for the ball. But I think both of these players are young and they have a lot of potential. The difference between Bob and Savio, in my mind, goes back to the comment from who was it that talked about the sample size? Cisco. Cisco talked about this minuscule sample sizes, right? And I think that's the difference between Oscar Bob and Savino. Savio played an entire season in La Liga and was really good. Basically double digits, both goals and assists. I think he was like 11 and 9 or something like that. Oscar Bob doesn't have that. He's got moments. He's got a moment here, a moment there. He doesn't have that same track record. So I said earlier in the season, right? If you have to get rid of one, because they're both young, they're about the same age. I think Oscar Bob actually might be older. If you got to get rid of one, I think you keep Savio because he's proven it over an entire season. I don't like the idea, but I think that's how I rationalized it in my head. That's how I saw it. That's how I think about it. And we'll see if Bob actually does leave, where he goes and how he gets on. But we'll see. Joel says Echemesi is doing well. Girona and Hayes too, but I wish they loan Bob instead of selling him. Yeah, I would loan him as well. I would definitely loan him, but I just don't know if that's what the player wants at this point. Right, Jack, what's good with you, brother? Glad to see you in the chat, man. I'm doing well. I don't know. I spent the first probably 10, 15 minutes just kind of going through what I was going through and kind of how everything shook out. But I am back. I'm feeling good. Like I said, I got some follow-up appointments or whatever, but I'm feeling good, man. So appreciate you, appreciate the support. Ryjack is another one of those city content creators. American city content creator. There's no quote unquote animosity. There's no competition. Go out to his channel. I think you can just go Ryjack. It'll pull up in YouTube, but go to his channel, support him. Support him. Again, another member of that city content creation, quote unquote, fraternity or group, if you will, right? Again, as an American, we're probably never going to be as big as the LBs and those other people. And those guys are great. They have a lot more of a track record. They've been doing their thing, but Ryjack is out consistently with his videos, lives, posts, shorts, all of the above. He does it all. So definitely go check out his channel if you haven't already. Give him support. All of us need it. All of us want it as we're trying to grow. So big ups to him. Yes, big up Ryjack. Good to see you. Appreciate that, man. Love and prayers. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's not about Savino regarding Bob. It's that Cherky is and always will be miles better, either on the wing or through the middle. So my conversation was before Cherky, as far as Savino and how I felt about Savino and Bob. But you're right? Cherky is even younger, or maybe the same age. Or he might be younger. He's probably younger than Bob, but probably the same age as Savino. And he's an amazing player. I don't know that he's not a winger, but he's been playing on the wing for us. Aaron, man, I appreciate that, man. Big ups to you, man. I really do appreciate that. But yeah, Cherky is not a winger, but he's been playing there for us. And until he's played fully through the middle, which I don't know if it ever happened, because again, we do have Phil there. I don't know what that's going to look like, but you're right. You're absolutely right. It's going to be hard for Oscar Bob or Savino, for that matter, to get on that right side when Cherky is playing on that right. Even if he is tucking in the overlap, it's going to be hard for anyone to get on that side, because Cherky has to be on the pitch. He just has to be. Look, we can say he's young, we can say he's new, we can say all those things. I don't really care. That dude has to be on the pitch. Aaron, you have to admit that 70 million for Savio would be tasty right now. So I gotta say this, right? So big ups to Crunk Chocolate, one of my show bros from Shades of Blue. He had an interview with Jack Gone. I believe it's one of our it's probably a Patreon exclusive. So you had to probably have Patreon, or he probably posted a few minutes of it. But we did an interview with Jack Gone from, I believe, Manchester Evening News, and he said pretty much unequivocally there was never a actual $70 million offer or 70 million pound offer on the table. There's a lot of conversation, but there was never an offer for 70 million. If 70 million was on the table, I would hope that we would have taken it. I would absolutely take it right now, without question. But I don't know. It's hard to say 70 million offer. We should have taken it, kind of hang that 70 million around Savio's head when it probably wasn't a legit offer. Not the fake, the 70 million offer. No, yep, yep. Big up Joel McKinnon. I'm assuming that this is you subscribing to Ryjack's channel. So big ups. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. Want to show that love. I think Ryjack is getting close to. If you're still in the chat, Ryjack, and you're pretty close to that 1,000 subscriber mark. Is if I'm right? So yeah, big ups to you. Monetization is in your future. Let's go. Get it. But yeah. No, I think a lot of people thought it was legit. I think a lot of people thought it was legit. And I thought it was legit until we had that conversation and you hear it from, the journalist's mouth. And so again, could he be wrong? Sure. But I put a lot of that, I put a lot of that, a lot of stock in what he said when he was in that chat. 70-ish away getting there. Yeah. 70 subscribers to get to 1,000. That's a big milestone. He needs your support. We need that support. Go ahead and get that. And hopefully we can get him across the line. Even if it's not tonight, get him across the line soon. Soon enough, meaning in the summer, the easing punching bags of Bernardo and Savinho will be gone. Can we take bets who will be next in the take dump on head blame game? Yeah. So to your point, there's always somebody that's going to get the blame, right? Whether it was Grealish, whether it was Oscar Bob, whether it's Akanji last season, Kyle Walker. You're right. There's always somebody that kind of becomes the scapegoat. I don't know that Savinho's going to be gone next year, but he might. But yeah, there will always be somebody who's going to be the scapegoat, but I don't know who it is. And I don't even want to put that on somebody's head. I don't even want to start that conversation. So I won't do it. But yeah, you're right. There's always somebody. So we talked about Oscar Bob potentially going to Fulham or wherever he ends up. We certainly wish him the best. I saw that Stephen Mfuni is potentially going to be allowed to go out on loan. Mfuni is an academy player who I've really been hoping to get minutes, especially like in some of the, the Champions League games, the games against Exeter City and teams like that, right? You hope to see these academy kids get a chance to play, but also recognizing that we have other players that you got to get minutes to as well. So haven't had a chance to really get him on the pitch. So if he does go out on loan to, like, say, somewhere in the championship, you hope he does well. But yeah, Stephen and Footy potentially going out on loan. There's some other things out there, rumors about Cole Palmer going to United or Julian Alvarez going to Arsenal, but we won't worry about that stuff. If it happens, it happens, and we'll deal with it then. But for now, I think okay, so this is the last question, and if you're still here, 27 of you are. If you're still here, we're still in my opinion, we're still in the title race because Arsenal haven't put us away. They should have put us away when we dropped points against United. When we, I think that was Bodo Glimt. We should be put away. There's no reason for us to still be in this conversation as far as the title is concerned. But the fact of the matter is we are. So for those of you out here listening, are we in a title race or no? Let's just do it that way. Are we in a title race? Are we in a legit title race or no? I want to hear from you. Fabrizio went on a PR run that summer, not really been able to truly trust him since. Oh, that's probably going back to that 70 million offer, probably. Yeah. That number just seems, yeah, the number is what hung on everybody's minds and kind of put, like I said, put that around that albatross around his neck. Uh, all right. So are we in a title race? City Slacker says we're in it for sure. Now we have Gehi and Semenyo. Again, I don't think we should be. There's no reason for us to be in this title race. We should have been dead and buried because we've just not been good enough to this point. But as you state, Slacker, the addition of Gehi, the addition of Semenyo, hopefully getting Ruben Diaz back healthy, all those things, getting Marmouche back, all these things, right? They've allowed us to stay around. We have to go handle our business, but there's no reason we should even be this close. So I think now we have to go win it. Just go win it. If they're gonna keep us around, go win it. They'll say, or we'll say they bottled it, and they probably would have it. If they keep us around and we end up winning it, yeah, they probably will have bottled it. But they don't seem to want to win it. And to be fair, Tottenham away coming up, Liverpool away coming up. Those are big matches. So we could easily be out of it again, quote unquote, out of it again. But if we win those matches and Arsenal don't get their act together, oh man, could you imagine the meltdown? Could you imagine the uproar? Because bottom line is they should have put us away. Can't suggest anything else with a 4-point gap. Yeah. They've again, you allowed us to stay into it's like just like the over a course of a match. You might get a 1-0 lead, but you let a team stay close. You let a team stay close. You let a team stay close, and before you know it, we get hit 2 counters. Boom, they go up 2-1. That was our lives last season. That's a microcosm of the whole season. That's just one game, but it can happen. And so they've allowed us to stay in the race. They've kept us close. Arsenal haven't been clinical. They haven't put us away. They should have buried us by this point. We would have on our title runs. We would have buried this at this point. This league would be over with. But they kept us around, and before you know it, we're gonna be on top. So I think we're still in it, just about in the race. Need to win the next 2 games to start with. Those 2 games are gonna be big. Those are gonna be big. I'm waiting to see after Spurs and Liverpool. If we win those 2 games, I think we win the league then. Yeah, if we win those, and God forbid Arsenal drop any points during that, if we win both of those and they drop points, oh man, the meltdown will be insane because they've said all season long that they had the best team. They had the best um uh as far as like their roster of players. They've had the best. They got the most depth. All the things. There's no excuses. There are no excuses. They have to go win it. Manchester United can't even pay the tea lady. Where are they going to get 120 million pounds from? Because that is what Chelsea would be asking for. Again, this is going back to the Cole Palmer, but supposedly Cole's not happy. Supposedly Cole's not happy. I don't know if that was because he wasn't happy with Enzo Maresca. He's not happy after Maresca is gone. I don't know why he's not happy. But supposedly he's not happy. We'll see. Maybe he's not happy because he's not getting enough penalties this season. Because again, a lot of his goals have been penalty goals, penalties. So I don't know why he's not happy. But you're right that I don't know where that money comes from to get that over the line because they are going to ask for, like you said, 120 million or more. So. Yes, we're still in it because Arsenal have allowed us time and time again to still be in the race. It's beyond me how they've not put this to bed yet, but we do need to improve or it's not happening. Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think we definitely need to be better. We will be better because of the addition of Gehi and Semenya. We'll be better in the league. I mean, it's maybe not enough for Champions League these next couple matches, but we will be better in the league. And if they don't get their consistency, we will go and win this thing. Again, it's hard to say because we should be buried. We should be 8, 9, 10 points behind. So it's kind of crazy to think we're still in it. But and there's probably been moments where I've kind of written it off and like, it's probably not going to happen. But then they just keep letting us hang around. So it's like if they don't want to win it, let's just go ahead and do it ourselves. Do you think Nico G is going to start tomorrow? I do. I do. I don't know how healthy he is, but I think the absence of Rodri says Pep is going to press him into service. If Rodri was available, maybe he doesn't start. But without Rodri, I don't think Pep is going to go in without either one of those two. And I just don't see him putting Nico O'Reilly at the 6. I just don't. Not against Galatasaray. That's too big of a stretch, in my opinion. So I think he's got to push Nico G out there, which again, he's been talking about maybe being back. I think he was in training today. So we'll see. I don't think we are, but that doesn't upset me. I just love that we are younger and competing, yet this league is really below par this year. Yeah, so I think there's something to be said. Again, if Arsenal hasn't put us away, the Liverpool team of the past, maybe not last year, but the year when we were going toe to toe, that Liverpool team would have put this league away. Those City teams would have put this league away. Arsenal hasn't. And so they're leaving space for people to come in and take it. And we'll see if we can get it done. You know, if we don't win it, I'm with you. That's not gonna upset me necessarily because I don't think we should win it. If we do, that's just that's just gonna be more embarrassing for them than for anything. Arsenal have already peaked, and I firmly believe we haven't. Like LB says, we can get better, but can Arsenal? Yeah, I agree. I think we've all said the same thing, right? There's room for us to grow. There's room for us to improve. There's room for us to continue to get better. We don't know yet if they can. We haven't seen that they can or that they will. So we'll see. If we beat Tottenham Hotspur and Liverpool in our next 2 games, it will be panic station. It will absolutely be panic stations at Liverpool. They will be losing their minds. And I want to see it. But that means we have to go handle our business. And the first thing we got to go do is go beat Tottenham. We got to go beat Tottenham. Liverpool, we can deal with that when it gets there. But we got to go beat Tottenham first. So we'll see. If we're in the playoffs after tomorrow, probably unlikely, even if it's an easy draw. Palmer apparently isn't happy in London. He's also a United fan. Yeah, that's what I read, and that's why I said, there's a chance that he might end up at United. But I think that the financial stuff is a legit thing, right? It's a legit issue. Can they afford him? We'll see. Saw someone say this earlier. City might not be the same City, but it's the same Arsenal. We are defo in this thing. Big up, right, Jack? Yeah. Again, I think, when you're talking to the Moes of the world, Judge Moes and the Hussams of the world, that's what they like to say. Oh, well, it's not the same City. It's not the same Man City that have come back in all these years. And, because we talk about going on extended runs and being able to win leagues when maybe we shouldn't have won it. And they'll tell you that, hey, well, it's not the same City. It's not the same City. And that's fair. We're not the same City. And I got to be honest about that. And so, again, in my opinion, this is Arsenal's league to lose. Arsenal should be winning this league, and the fact that they haven't sewn it up is a just testament to how poor they've been recently. So we'll see. They might sell Fernandez to Saudi, maybe get a few million. That's an option. I don't know if they'll get enough, but that's an option. Our need to see Rodri, Nico double pivot against Spurs and Liverpool. Maybe Liverpool for sure would be nice. Because we got to have some steel in the midfield. We can't get overrun consistently, which is what has been happening recently. So I would love that with Turkey or Foden ahead of them. Yeah, I agree. All right, it is. I don't even know what time it is. 8:23 my time, which makes it 1:23 over in England. I appreciate each and every one of you that have been here. I appreciate you rocking with me. If this is your first time, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you'll come back again next week. We do this every Tuesday. with the exception of last Tuesday. But every Tuesday we're here 6:30 p.m. Eastern time if you're in the US, 11:30 p.m. Eastern time. Oh, excuse me, 11:30 p.m. in the UK. Every single Tuesday. So if this is your first time, I hope you'll come back. If you've been here all the time, I appreciate the support. Appreciate you continuing to stop by and come through. Again, if you haven't already, before you leave, do me a favor. If you haven't already hit that like button, please do. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do. That is how it helps to grow the channel. I didn't put it up, but we're trying to get to 500 subscribers, and I think I had hit 300, and then it dropped back down to 299. So whoever you were, shame on you. But hopefully, there's a couple people that have joined and subscribed this week. So we should be back up over that 300 mark, and we're just going to continue to push to get to 500. My goal is to get to 500 before the end of June. So before July 1st, I want to be at that 500 mark. So appreciate you. Looking forward to it. Again, thanks everybody. Timoth, Simon, Aaron, Keely, J Edition, Aaron, Cool Family, City Slacker, Ryjack, everybody that's been out here, Kathy, those that have had to already drop off. Appreciate you, and look forward to seeing you again really soon next week.